Bibliophiles of the Internet. My name is Adriana, and today I'm here to bring you the first Top 5 Wednesday video of 2015. And what topic would be more appropriate to kickstart the year than our most anticipated releases of 2015? As usual, I'm breaking the rules and I have a few more than 5 books that I want to mention today, but without further ado, let's start talking about where my money's gonna be going this year. At number 8 on my top 5 list, we have Firefight by Brandon Sanderson. I'm a little bit ashamed to say that the only Brandon Sanderson book I've read to date is the first book in the Reckoner series, which was Steelheart. But you know what? I really enjoyed that book. I loved the premise, the characters. I loved how Brandon Sanderson was able to continuously surprise me and bring out these unexpected elements in the plot. And when I heard that the title of the second book was going to be Firefight, I was like, why is this not already published so I can read it like yesterday? At number 7 on my list is the 4th book in the Raven Cycle by Maggie Stiefvater, which is supposed to be published sometime this year. The Raven Cycle is a phenomenal paranormal / urban fantasy YA story, and it's just so much more than you could ever imagine. It transcends all of its labels. It is amazingly written, amazingly conceived. It's incredibly imaginable. All of the characters are amazing, and the only reason this book is not further down on my list is because I'm currently reading The Dream Thieves, which is only the 2nd book in the series, so I haven't even read Blue Lily, Lily Blue yet. But I am so anticipating the 4th book in this series already. And that's because, if you can't already tell, at only 1.5 books read in this series, it's already shaping up to be one of my all-time favorite series ever. So I'm hoping to be caught up with this series in the earlier half of this year, and then I will be anticipating the 4th book's release like everyone else who loves the series. At number 6 on my list is Half the World by Jo Abercrombie, which is the 2nd book in the Shattered Sea series. And the 1st book is about a prince named Yarvi who is crippled and he does not want to ascend the throne, so instead he's studying to be a minister so that he can give up all his rights as an heir. But due to unforeseen circumstances, he does end up having to ascend the throne, and then after that he is betrayed by some people who he believed loyal to him, and then from then on out it's this really great adventure and quest to reclaim a title that he never wanted in the first place. I am so ready for the 2nd book in this series because this series is going to be comprised of companion novels. And so the 2nd book is set to follow a completely different protagonist. It is a female protagonist, and she lives in the same world that was already established in the 1st book, and the events in the 2nd book follow chronologically after the events in Half a King, so they are going to be related in that way. So I'm really excited not only to see how Yarvi's story overlaps with this new character's story, but also because this new character is supposed to be really badass, and also I am very interested to see how Jo Abercrombie writes from the female perspective. Coming in at number 5, we have the 3rd book in the School for Good and Evil series by Soman Chainani, which I believe is set to be published hopefully sometime this year. And very briefly, The School for Good and Evil is a middle grade sort of fairy tale fantasy sort of series, and it's about 2 main characters, Agatha and Sophie, who are polar opposites of one another. Sophie is like the traditional girly girl, and Agatha is supposed to be like the freaky witch character who nobody likes and nobody is friends with. And one night a year in the village that they live in, they are visited by a mysterious figure who kidnaps one awful child and one well-loved child. And they are believed to be taken to the School for Good and Evil to be trained to become part of their own fairy tale. And the story begins when both Sophie and Agatha are kidnapped and taken to the School for Good and Evil, but they are enrolled in seemingly the wrong schools. Agatha is enrolled for the School for Good and Sophie is enrolled for the School for Evil. And the series really takes off from there, and it's been amazing so far. I have loved every single second of it, and I am very highly anticipating the 3rd and possibly final installment of the series. At number 4, we have The Darkest Part of the Forest by Holly Black. This book is about fairies. It's about a town that lives next to a forest, I believe, and in the forest are fairies, and the townspeople are aware of their presence. And the main character of the story, Hazel, knows how dangerous these fairies can be. But on top of that, there's also a mysterious boy with horns horns who is sleeping in a glass coffin in the middle of the forest. And one day this boy wakes up and terrible things start to happen. It sounds really creepy and twisted and dark, and I can't wait for it. And did I mention that it's a standalone novel? Because it is, and I want it so badly. At number 3, we have A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab, aka Victoria Schwab. This book is about parallel Londons. I'm not sure if there's 2 Londons or 3 Londons. I think it's 3, gray, white, and red. And basically the main character is an ambassador for one of the dimensions, and he can travel through all 3 to bring messages from one dimension to another, but he also smuggles things from one dimension and one London to another, and that sort of gets him in a little bit of trouble. I want this book so badly. It's another one I will definitely be getting on the release date and reading in that same month because it just deserves to be read by me now. Coming in at number 2 on my list is Nimona by Noelle Stevenson, also known as Ginger Haze. This is going to be a physical book for Noelle Stevenson's original comic, which started off as a web comic, and I remember when she first started posting it online, and I started reading it from the very beginning. So it's so rewarding to finally see that someone wants to publish her work, and I don't know, like, just as a fan, this is so exciting. Like, I can't even imagine how she must feel as the creator. And like I said, this is her original comic, and it's about the title character, Nimona, who is like a shapeshifter. And she's basically like the unpaid intern to this villainous character who I believe is named Ballister, if my memory serves me correctly. So she works with him to get revenge on his arch nemesis, and there's also more mysterious things about her that her boss doesn't know. And can you guess number 1 on my list of most anticipated 2015 releases? I'll give you a moment. My number 1 most anticipated release of this year is Royal Wedding by Meg Cabot. I can't even believe what I'm about to say next. This is the 11th book in the Princess Diaries series, and it's an adult book, and it's about Mia and Michael Moskovitz, aka my number 1 OTP, getting married. It's a reality. It's going to be a reality this year. And if you don't think that I'm going to buy that book the day it releases and sit down and probably read the entire thing in one sitting, then you don't know me at all. Deep breaths. So those 8 books are my most anticipated releases of 2015. In the comments down below, please feel free to let me know what are some of the books you are most anticipating this year. And that's all I have for this topic today, so I'll let you go. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it, and I will catch you on the flip side of the page.